President Trump is heading to Capitol Hill this week to talk immigration with the GOP. Here to talk about that and more, political commentator Tomi Lahren and former aide to Chuck Schumer radio show host Chris Hahn. All right, guys, the issue now of children being separated from their parents at the border is one that for some reason is getting tremendous traction, and anyone who's a parent has to feel a lot of emotion about it. And even as a judge, when I was sentencing a parent to jail and the child would be in the courtroom, it's tough stuff. But, Chris, aren't parents ultimately responsible for their own actions in this regard?
Well, yes, but we have parents who are presenting themselves at the border for asylum, and international law says we should treat them with dignity and respect. And this is a policy that was initiated by the Trump administration. There's no legislative fix needed here. In fact, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Texas, Patrick Ryan, just said today that this is a policy that Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump initiated themselves. So I think we've got to find, there's a very big difference, though, between people criminally crossing the border and presenting themselves at the border for asylum.
So are you suggesting, Chris, that everybody is, Chris, are you suggesting that they're all asking for asylum? And Tomi, is there a difference between the president's policy and the law?
Well, the president has said he has a zero-tolerance policy for illegal immigration. Excuse me. This president has said he has a zero-tolerance policy for illegal immigration. And yes, as Americans, we feel for anybody that's crossing the border because we know this is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. However, this is a nation of laws. And so I say to those parents and to those children, if you do not want to be separated, do not cross the border illegally. Follow our laws, follow the process. That's the best way to ensure that your family stays together.
Go ahead, Chris.
So as I just suggested to you, Tomi, when you are presenting yourself at the border for asylum, you are not crossing the border illegally. You are following a procedure. And it is at that point that this administration has decided to take those parents and separate them from the children. That not only violates international law, it violates Matthew 25. And anybody who believes in that should be ashamed of this policy.
Chris, are you trying to tell me that every single person that's going to the border that's separated from their families, they're all seeking asylum? None of those are illegal immigrants that are trying to come into this country and then live within the shadows and take advantage of our American system?
Okay, Chris, the question is very simple.
All of these people are speaking asylum, really.
Chris, you know as well as I and Tomi know, not all of them are seeking asylum. Come on, let's not kid each other. Now, for those who come across illegally, wait, let me finish the question. For those who are coming across illegally and not seeking asylum, some of whom have already been deported, who are bringing children, the law is the same as it was when Barack Obama was president and Bush was president. So the president has not changed anything. In fact, this president offered the Democrats the opportunity to keep the some of the DACA kids here, 1.8 million of them, and the Dems wouldn't go with it. You're just trying to make the president look bad.
No, this is the president. The president is treating people who are sneaking under a fence the same as people who are coming to a door, Tomi. They're treating them the same, and that is not right.
I want to ask you a question, Chris. This is very important because I know that you and many on your side of the aisle talk a lot about compassion, and I agree with you. We need to show compassion as a Christian. I believe in that as well. But where is the compassion for American citizens? Where is the compassion for legal immigrants living in this country that expect the rule of law to be followed and expect border security and border enforcement? Where's the compassion for those individuals? Does that not exist? Because President Trump is going to make sure it exists. That's why we elected him.
Tomi, that you do unto the least of them, you do unto Christ.
Oh, Chris.
And we know what's happening at the border right now.
We're talking about the law right now.
It is an abomination.
What's an abomination? Every time a judge sentences some parents to jail, is that an abomination? Is that an abomination? They make a choice. Since when are people not responsible for their own actions and their own behavior? When do you bring children across a border illegally?
They are presenting...
Oh, don't give me this 100%. You know it, and I know it's not 100%, Chris.
They are not criminals. They are not doing anything illegal.
Are they breaking the law coming here? Chris, are they breaking the law coming here? Go ahead, Tomi.
Not.
Let Tomi talk now.
Chris, you can shout as many Bible verses as you want. I believe in the Bible as well. I believe in what you're saying about compassion. But the thing is this, you can't have a nation without a border. We need to make sure the borders are secure. I know you're going to keep telling me that all of these individuals that are crossing the border are seeking asylum, but we know that that is not true. We've got 11 to 20 million illegal immigrants living in this country, and those individuals are not seeking asylum. We have a problem at the border. This president has a zero tolerance policy for it. So if the Democrats want to come to the table, that's fine. But here on out, this president has made it very clear. Don't come to this country and complain about the rule of law.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question since you've asked me a few. Is it right when people are seeking asylum for them to be separated from their kids? Should the president stop that from happening right now?
I believe first and foremost we need to make sure we have a secure border. And of course we need to deal with these individuals. We need to make sure we have a streamlined process. That also starts with a wall. That starts with border enforcement. So we can figure out who's coming over here and why they're coming over here. Right now, we don't know.
You know, guys,
we don't know who's coming into our country, and that's a problem, Chris.
When they show up at an official crossing and ask for asylum, should they be treated differently?
Chris, you're like a broken record. We all know it's not all about asylum. Tomi Lahren, Chris Hahn, thanks so much for being with us.